Nice big open area. With some heavier weapons, the arachnotrons aren't nearly as bad as they were in the earlier part of the game. You can either light them up with quick-firing weapons, or you can take advantage of things like the grenade launcher, which I've gotten a little bit better at shooting after playing the game for a while. And take out their antenna gun, and after that they're not too bad to deal with. Is that it? Ah, I burned the one up. When you use the flame belch, heavier targets will stay on fire for less time, but you'll still be able to get armor shards from damaging them. Let's see, I haven't shown off the ballista yet. Look for a target to test this particular weapon on. I'll go to the left, I think. Yeah, cultist key here. So after spending a decent amount of time in Doom Eternal since the first recording session, and getting kind of acclimated to the game's controls... Oh, you're dead. I have to say that this game is pretty fun. Even though I am definitely not a shooter player and haven't played a shooter forever, like I mentioned in the beginning, this game does a pretty good job of streamlining the gameplay and making it pretty intuitive. It's one of the things 2016 is well praised for. Overall, after playing the game for a bit and getting used to it, I have to say it is fast-paced and a lot of fun. The gameplay and overall flow of the game is pretty fluid, and it never really seems to get boring or stale, especially when you're... Oh boy, this room gave me some trouble. I think it's chain gun time. Lots of dudes. Lots of dudes. Fortunately, the chain gun wastes these guys pretty good. Even the Mancubi. As long as you don't let too many of them surround you and pelt you, it's not too bad. I need some armor though. We're still on track to progress through this area. Getting closer to the spot we want, but still a little ways out. Seeing as how this is a Steam Look series, there's no reason why I can't come back to the game at some point and record more videos. I think I'm going to be playing Doom for a while. This game's a hoot. Alright, these enemies are called Whiplashes, I believe. They are very annoying. High speed, serpentine enemies that will get in your face and they will maul you. And they can shoot from range as well. overall, it's best to take out those enemies quickly since they're so fast. Enemies with the shields, if you use the plasma rifle on them, it'll overload their shields and detonate them and allow you to do concussive damage if they're near other enemies, or just overall take out their defenses, which is pretty handy. Otherwise, they'll soak your bullets and you won't be able to do damage. And the game does reward playing through areas again, especially if you care about unlocking stuff, which is nice. No, this run was a challenge as well.
But he is weak. Your hate must match his will. Only then will you be truly saved.
There's the meat hook. Get up close and personal, which has its pros and cons, in that if you need to close distance, it's good, but certain enemies like the Mancubus can nuke the area around it, which means you don't want to be in its face all the time. Some ammo. The Ballista, in addition to kind of behaving like a sniper rifle with range, does more damage to flying enemies. Things like the Cacodemons or the Pain Elemental, which you run into later. They take more damage from the Ballista's shots. So if you find yourself being mauled by flying enemies, it's pretty handy for taking them out. Oh boy. You don't want to let too many of those snakes pile up on the map. They will ruin your day. As I played through the game a bit more, one of the things I kind of learned was staying moving, taking advantage of the Slayers. Quick traversal is a good way to make sure you're not getting pincered by enemies and mauled by the faster ones. The Hell Knights. Oh boy, that's not a good place to be in the corner. Use some more rockets. That wasn't fast enough. Between keeping moving, mixing up your chainsaw to replenish ammo, and the flame belch to replenish armor, the resource management aspect of Doom is one of the things that was a challenge for a while. I was dying in a lot of these big areas because I couldn't properly manage all my resources. And as a result, I'd be in a tough spot without ammo or health. And it would be the end of a run. Alright, buddy. Revenants are pretty durable, but their main gimmick is that they're fast. They can fly around and they'll hose you down with rockets if you just leave them be. Okay. Challenge area is coming up soon.
Lies in his destruction. The myth of the Slayer's strength is exposed now to us. Can you see it, brothers? He has lost the resolve to continue.
Oh yeah, just ignore the fact that I killed about 5 dozen of your dudes so far.
And you will secure your place in the new world.
The overall lore is that these guys have all these crazy fanatic followers. And these won't aggro unless you shoot them. But you can kill them for ammo, which is nice. The overall lore setting is interesting. I wouldn't have really expected there to be deep lore for a game where you're basically killing swarms of demons, but the world building in Doom Eternal is interesting.
Attention, all mortally challenged personnel. The Slayer is inside.
Fodder.
Please proceed with aggression.
These enemies sort of just sit here, but if you blow them up, they'll fly off in a direction and detonate on contact. You can use them to ricochet into other mobs and take them out. Like so. You just have to aim carefully. Snake. Snakes are not really resistant to rockets, thankfully. Arachnotrons take pretty good damage from the ballista. And it works pretty well for taking out the Mancubus handguns too. Ooh boy. Lit on fire. Thought that guy was dead. He was not dead. This particular section. This particular section is interesting. I didn't see this one coming. The little cutscene here play out so you guys can see what goes into this particular sequence. Remembering back to the little thing it showed us earlier, we're trying to get the super shotgun. It's the story beat here. What that contraption has done is
You are now in control of the Revenant drone. You may use it to reclaim your property.
like Vega said, it puts us in the body of a Revenant, and now we get to control one of the demon types, which is interesting. The Revenant has the rocket launchers. Let's see, it can boost. The jetpack is alt fire. And the jetpack has a cooldown, you can't use it forever. The rocket launchers are pretty powerful. They're fairly accurate. And they'll usually destroy anything at close range, even the bigger targets. You can do sort of like a swarmer missile barrage with F. And that has a cooldown as well. In this particular mode, the enemies don't drop health power-ups. You just have to play through the sequence and not screw up. And that's the end of that.